So apparently, some of you Guardians are very, very cross at Bungie because you found out they have taken armor intended for Iron Banner and they put it into Eververse. I totally get that. I mean, you should be pissed off. I've even heard some content creators talking about how, oh, this is greedy now that Bungie's doing this kind of stuff, or something along the lines of this is the first time they've done this. Wrong. I have been making videos for the past 3 to 4 years talking about how Bungie has taken armor that is intended for in-game use and putting it in Eververse instead. This is not new. This is not the first time. And even if, hypothetically, by some miracle, you're able to get that Iron Banner armor set out of Eververse, Bungie's going to keep doing it. They're not going to stop. I mean, word of advice, if you're trying to put out a fire, the best time to stop it is when it's a small fire, not when it's a fully engulfed structure fire. That is to say that Bungie is the fully engulfed structure fire. The time to put your foot down would have been years ago. But we're already past that point. So Bungie's going to continue to do this. They're not going to stop. And I know it sucks. And it doesn't make it right. Not at all. It just means that you gotta temper your expectations because this is something that Bungie is going to continue to do. And I gotta be honest with you, you're not getting that Iron Banner armor set, nor are you getting that taken armor set out of Eververse. It's not happening. Bungie's already made too much money. Too many assholes have already cracked open their wallet and bought both. And Bungie just sees the dollar signs. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Get as much money out of these assholes as you can. That's it. I know, I should be more positive, right? But here's the deal, man. I've been positive for years. I've made videos where I handled Bungie with kid gloves. Oh, I like this, but the rest of this is dog shit, blah, 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 blah. And you know what? It was semi-successful. It was. I made suggestions like increase the amount of levels in a season pass. Yeah, they did that. I made suggestions like daily and weekly challenges. Yep, they did that as well. I made suggestions like give us access to old Eververse rewards. Yep, did that as well. I could go on. I made these suggestions. I made videos with these suggestions in them. The problem is as great as those changes are, they're still just superficial. They don't deal with the core problems of this game. So that's where my frustration comes from. It stems from. And I mean, look, at some point you have to accept that a company can't fuck up this bad as much as they do unless it's intentional. I personally think it's a Kansas City shuffle. What I mean by that is look at leveling. Bungie tells us all, but leveling is a main priority. But if it was a main priority, it would already be fixed, right? How hard could it be to increase the drop rate of that loot? How hard could it be to increase the power level on that drop rate? How hard could it be? See what I mean? What does a priority look like in Destiny? A priority looks like the new items in Eververse. That is very clearly the priority, not leveling. And then Bungie proposes changes that makes the leveling even worse. And then they rescind those changes and everyone celebrates, yay. But they still haven't fixed leveling. It's classic Kansas City shuffle. Classic. And then they give us ass and iron, which makes the leveling worse. And then, of course, they say, oh, it's a bug. Trust us. You can trust us. Right? We haven't lied our ass off to you for years and years and years. We haven't deceived you for years and years and years. You can trust us. It's a bug. Bullshit. Working as intended. All the while, leveling still has not been fixed. Do you really think that's a priority? Think about it for a second. I mean, just look at unstable cores. I made a video about unstable cores. Most people didn't get it. Most people are in my comment section. I have 20,000. I have 80,000. I have 6. I don't give a crap. You're missing the point entirely. The point was that once that new expansion hits, we're all getting zeroed out to level 200 again. And the unstable core resource is being deleted from the game, including all of them in your inventory. Gone. There are no more. The question you should be asking is, wait, how do I level over 200 then? Well, Bungie's going to introduce an unstable core replacement resource. Call it whatever you want. Call it Chakalaka. So now you need to farm Chakalaka over again. Easy, right? Wrong. Because when you're at level 200, if you want to level your character, you need all of your over 200 drops. The problem is you don't have any chakalaka to infuse those drops into your gear, meaning you can't level your character. Why? Because you have to scrap every single piece of gear you get over 200 just so you can get the chakalaka, so when you get another drop at some point, you can actually infuse it. That's the problem with unstable cores. It is yet another hurdle to stop you from leveling. Everything that Bungie's doing here is for metrics. They want your ass online. They want you playing this game for 8, 10, 12, 16 hours a day. That's what they need. Because if it was a priority, they would be announcing, hey, we're not resetting your rank. Hey, we're getting rid of unstable cores. Hey, we're increasing the drop rates on everything. Hey, we're increasing the power level on everything. Done. If it was a priority, it would be just that simple. But none of that has been done. So it's clearly not a priority. You see the difference? Priority, Eververse. Not a priority, the leveling. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Hey, and you know what? For all you D1 haters, guess what I can say? While D1 wasn't perfect, and it's not a perfect game. It never was. Never claimed it to be, but at least in D1, Bungie was still Bungie. It's not this meat every fucking time. It's like people have a sixth sense. Oh, he's recording now, call. Anyway, I digress. Where was I? Oh, at least in D1, we had badass Iron Banner armor we didn't have to pay for. At least we didn't have to pay for the Taken armor either. So, yeah. We've been asking for Taken armor in D2 forever. And of course they put it in Eververse. Why wouldn't they, right? Anyway. I imagine all the D1 haters are probably people that never played the game. Would be my expectation. Of course, they're going to lie their ass off and say, I have 87,000 hours in D1. Well, sure you do, Chief. Sure you do. Anyway. Look, I get your frustration. I get that you're angry, and you should be. You 100% should be. But the sad reality is, it's not going to change anything. Bungie has been doing this for years, and they're not going to stop. There's nothing you can do to stop them. Unless each and every single player walks away from this game right now, Bungie doesn't need to change their ways. They're going to continue doing the shit that they've always done. They're going to continue doing the shit that they've been doing for years. And I know that sucks. There should be a way that we could get them to stop, but we can't. As I said, a company can't fuck up this much as often as they do unless you start understanding that it's intentional. It's not a fuck up. It was 100% intended the way that they did it. So, anyway, I hate to burst those bubbles. I get your frustration. I get your anger. But there you have it. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below, or don't, or whatever you're feeling. And until next time, peace out.